Parents of the future. What will parents of the future do? Well, we've already got parents in the present that are forcing their children, I guess, 5-year-old, 8, 10-year-old kids to go undergo sex changes. So that's what parents in the present are doing. So just imagine what parents in the future will be doing. Well, let's. Parents of the future will be implanting technology into their children, probably from birth. Probably like in the past, like we used to get a social security number. That's the old mark of the beast. Well, the new mark of the beast is the chip that's going to be in you. So when someone says, "What's your social security number?" they're not asking you to tell them. They're asking you to stick out your arm so they can scan your chip. It's not just the chip, though. That's just the starter. Because you're going to need technology implanted in your body to do different sorts of types of jobs. And since you've already got this chip implanted in you from the time you're born, doesn't it just seem natural to put even more technology into your body? Like, how can a person with a normal eye compete with a person with a bionic eye who can see all different infrared for what? I don't know. Different jobs, job specialization, technological implants, right? Instead of hiring 100 miners to get black lung in a fucking cave, they can just hire 5 miners who have robot implants, right? And they'll have like these robot bodies, and they go down there, right? That's the future. And just like today, where parents do evil things to their children and think they're doing something good, that's how it's going to be seen, right? I'm giving my child a chance to be one of the top miners in the country, or whatever. These implants will help my child have job security, right? As long as they don't ever use their brain or question or think, as long as they just be hedonists and do drugs and have sex and do their job, they'll be fine. They'll be just fine. That's just one thing the parents of the future are going to be doing to their children. Another thing that parents of the future are going to be doing to their children is just handing them over to the state. I think it's going to become more and more common where, in a lot of cases, the state will take your kids away, right? And we've talked about that in the past, from unfit parents, people that they deem to be unfit parents for any number of reasons. They'll steal your kids and they'll hand them over to child traffickers in the foster care system. That's happening now. Again, that's not the future. That's what's happened now. But in the future, I think people will just have an option to legally hand their child over because they don't feel like taking care of it, right? Like, don't get an abortion. We'll pay you. We'll give you a little stipend to have a child, and you don't even have to raise a child. We'll raise a child in our state facilities and probably do a better job than you. And sure, you can still visit your child if we say so, if you're good. So, and as more and more poverty happens in drug addiction, that'll be common. I mean, you've already seen it on Soft White Underbelly. This is what drug addicts do. That's where the child prostitution comes in, because these people are so strung out on drugs, they pimp their own children. And some of them aren't even strung out on drugs, they just pimp their own children. So, yeah, that's going to become more common in the future. Just the state as the parent. The state is the real parent. It's always been that way. Your parents they just gave you the genetic makeup, but the state who really owns you. They're the one who's going to tell you how to think, tell you how to earn a living, tell you how to live, not your parents. And if you disobey your parents, you may get a spanking, but if you disobey the state, you're going to get thrown in jail or fined or murdered maybe. So that's who your real parents are. So that's going to be more obvious in the future. The state owns your children, not you. Another thing, I think there'll be open pedophilia in the future. I mean, it's almost open now. It's almost open now. But there's going to be open pedophilia where there's some kind of loophole that you can initiate your own children into sex acts if, if you're a whatever. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much because it's disgusting. But yeah, I do see that happening as pedophilia has become accepted in society. Whether people wants to admit that or not, I'll debate it with you because it has become accepted. So that's three things. What other what other depressing things are parents of the future going to do? Well, I guess three depressing things that parents are going to be doing to the children in the future is enough. So I'll leave it there for now. But yeah, implanting their children with technology, that's one. Two is handing their children over to the state for money or rewards or benefits. And three is having a legal way to rape their own children or somehow being encouraged by the state to have their children participate in sexual acts. So there you go. Three, that's the future. That's what your children will see in the future. It's the Great Plague.